Is Vangela Churchill, and I'm running for House District 40. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am an educator. I have been in the educational field almost 30 years now, 5 years as a high school assistant principal, where I led staff, had to deal with budget. So just to show you a little bit about my leadership skills. Obviously, my expertise is in education, and I am currently drafting a piece of legislation as we speak. And I brought this up with me because I've been playing around with what I'm going to call it, or what I would like it to be called, the Teaching and Learning Time Protection Act. Now, I know most of you may or may not have kids or grandkids in school, but as an educator, somebody that's currently in the classroom, our time is being taken away from being able to actually teach real literature, real math. What we're doing is we're preparing our kids to take a test. And then what happens when they graduate? They go out to STC or UTRGV and they're taking remedial classes. They are not prepared. They're not prepared for the real world. And it's time that we do something about it. So this act that I am writing is to protect teaching time, instructional time, and students' learning time. So that is just one core piece. I know there's so much more that needs to be addressed in the educational field. I mean, we absolutely need to bring God back in school, right? And I know that we're working on that. The 10 Commandments to be posted in our schools, and I fully support that. And there's so much more. But there's more things that I am obviously in agreement with. All of those who are running, we all are running on lowering property taxes. Just the other night, Governor Abbott at the Cameron County Lincoln Reagan dinner and auction said that he is trying to eliminate property taxes. And so I know that I have stated in the past that it is good. We've already passed Proposition 13, as you all know, which means that our homestead exemption has raised from $100,000 to $140,000. But for some people, especially those who lived on a fixed income, that's still too much. And so what can we do to lower those property taxes? And I know that there's been talk about using the rainy day fund, about using the surplus for that. And that's good. It might help alleviate the problem, but it does not dissolve the problem. It doesn't go away because those funds are going to run out. And then what are we going to do? Because think about it. When our borders were invaded, where do you think Governor Abbott got all that money to hire our DPS and our military, our National Guardsmen? And I'm proud to say that my husband was one of those DPS and also National Guard. He served in both facets during Operation Lone Star, and he's still currently doing Operation Lone Star right now as a state trooper. So we need those. We can't use up all of our funds. But if we do eliminate property taxes, we have to have a solid plan as to how are we going to do it, where are the funds going to come from, are they going to run out, and will it cause a burden for somebody else later on down the line? So I want that just as much as everybody else does, but we just have to make sure that we do it the right way. And then also another focus that I have is, I say focus, but I'm open to listen to any issues that anybody has. But these are just things that I've heard from my constituents. I know water is a big issue. During the Lincoln Reagan dinner, Governor Abbott also announced that he had just received a text from Brooke Rollins saying that they had come to some sort of an agreement with Mexico. And so Mexico has agreed to start repaying back the water. However, that does not solve our water issues. So what are we going to do about it? We need to create reservoirs or places where we can secure water. And then we also need to take care of those areas, the canals. And I know that they are in the process of putting down a foundation in parts of the canals. But there's other ways, other things that can be done as well. And then the other part is the infrastructure. Well, I know water goes along with infrastructure, but our roads. How many times I drive to Elsa every single day to drop my daughter off at a learning center. She goes to a learning center over there. I live in Edinburgh, work in Edinburgh, but I drive all the way over there. And 107 has been under construction for I don't know how long. So I started doing research, and the reason why it's been under construction so long is because the state cannot work together with the county when it comes to utilities. And so something needs to be done. We need to speed up the process so they can get the work done, so that we stop damaging our cars, there's less accidents, and traffic can flow. And that's just one example. We see it all over the county, right? And so those are a few things that I'm working on. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me about something specific. Yes, sir.
On the education side,
Mm-hmm.
I believe about 30% of our third graders cannot read at grade level.
Mm-hmm.
And the same number would apply to perform basic math functions at the third grade level.
Yeah.
All the way through.
Yeah.
Those kids that are third grade, and if they can't read at third grade level, and they keep getting passed on, they're unemployable.
Yep.
They will not be able to do anything. And my concern is that nobody knows those numbers. Nobody's concerned. I never hear anyone say that's unacceptable. How are we going to get that 30% to be 20%,
Mm-hmm.
to be 10%,
Yeah.
to be 0? You're not going to do it overnight.
No.
But we've got to fundamentally change our approach on education.
We do.
The people in this room, I would venture to say, their children would all be in the 75 to 99% level.
Well, and you see, and that's exactly one of the reasons why I am running. We do not have experienced educators going to Austin to make these decisions. We have small business owners, which are great because we do need small business owners over there, but we need a variety of people. We need people that have experience in all facets, and education is one of those fields that is lacking. And I know that they're thinking about right now introducing a new curriculum called the Blue Bonnet curriculum, and I heard that it's a little shady. I was actually invited to go and look it over. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that right now, but that's one thing that I would love to do. But I am going to do my research and investigate a little bit more about that. But you're absolutely right. If they can't read in the third grade, they move on to the fourth grade. I teach high school. I teach English 1 right now, freshman.
So you know.
Oh, I know. I have the non-readers in my classroom. I have the non-readers. And I will tell you that probably about 90% of my students are what we call emergent bilingual learners. Their first language is Spanish. And the majority of them still cannot pass the basic reading, writing, listening, and speaking test that the state administers. They are still taking that test every single year. And that should not be happening. And I'll tell you why it is happening. Because we are teaching tests in our classroom. We are not teaching real material. And we need to put a stop to it.
I have an education question.
Mm-hmm.
My son's been a teacher in Virginia for almost 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He can be disciplined or even fired if he uses the wrong pronoun on the student.
That's ridiculous.
Do they have anything like that around here?
No. 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 We are so, I am so blessed to be.
They can still use the paddle board with permission.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
I have been in districts where that is the case, but yeah, no, we're blessed to be in a state where,
You don't have to worry about pronouns.
right, we don't have to deal with those kind of things. Now, I
Just
mean,
educate the parents to sign
yeah.
it, or sign it permission to.
Yeah.
It's absurd. when I
How
found
are you
out.
finding discipline in your school? How are you handling that?
Right now, outside of my classroom, I will honestly say that there's probably a lack of discipline because you have kids that are roaming the halls. They're not in the classroom. If they're not in the classroom, they're not learning. But I will tell you, the kids that are in my classroom, they respect me, and they are there. They are learning, and no cell phone. I love the no cell phone ban. It's the best thing ever. And so I have my kids there. They're learning. They're paying attention. But the problem's not that they're not disciplined and they're not paying attention. The problem is they're coming to me from the third grade without reading, without being able to write. And so that makes it difficult because they're in a ninth grade level and they're reading at a third, fourth, fifth grade level. And yet they're expected to pass an English 1-star test in order to graduate. They have to pass 5 state exams in order to graduate.
And don't they get graduated? Because I know that they are graduating and they can't read and they cannot do math.
Yes.
So they are being passed.
Yes, and that is why when they get to STC, when they get to UTRGV, they're taking remedial classes.
What school is that?
I teach at Economitas High School in Edinburgh. Jaguars, yes. Yeah.
And I have, when you talked about property taxes, what we are looking at, Richard and I, we're helping a lot of people in Hidalgo County, and I have some in Cameron. It's the values of our property. Every year, it's supposed to go up 10%, or 20%, or, if you don't do them. I get it every year, and mine's about 168%.
That's ridiculous.
Fighting. And that's where it's wrong. I know they keep telling us the comptroller is the one that runs the show. We need the laws to fix it so
Yeah.
they cannot do that.
Passing the blame,
When
yeah.
you're on a fixed income, you paid your dues, you've got your loans and everything, your property's paid for, but you can't own it.
Exactly.
Because they keep putting the values up so high that, and that's what our dream is to, from back, I've been married now 59 years. I remember when we didn't have anything and our dream was to own a home, have it paid for. And we do not and cannot get it paid for.
Yeah.
As long as the values, and the laws have to be changed if they, is a law that you cannot raise it up. I've talked to Paul
I agree with you.
Danforth.
I agree
So
with you.
that's one thing, if you get there, we're gonna be pushing you.
Absolutely.
The second question, I know we have children that they have had these sick, nasty books that they have been, and I believe they have pulled them and got them out.
Yes.
But our children were in bad shape.
Yeah.
Because they were learning about sex and everything else, but not reading about, I remember Spot. See how
See Spot Run.
runs. I mean, I'm really old. The Little Red Wagon or whatever. We don't need to be learning about,
Yeah.
I've not seen the book, so I need our politicians to stay on this. This is something that
Absolutely. And I will tell you that as classroom teachers, we have to turn in a list, an itemized list of every single book that is readily available to students in our rooms. That way, and it should be publicized on the school's website so parents at any time can go there and see what is in their child's classroom.
But it's not on the website, right?
It should be.
Should be. All right.
It should be. I know I turned in my list.
Any other questions? I think, okay.
Your 2 cents on AI.
AI can be good and it can be bad.
Well, they're planning on building a couple right here in the valley.
Oh, you mean data centers?
Yes.
Oh, well, okay, so data centers use a lot of water. So we're already short water. So where is the water going to come from? And I know that it's already in the plans in Harlingen, and then I believe that they're talking about Edinburgh as well. And and McAllen as well. So
North of 107.
So what are these? So I've done a little bit of research, and according to research, these data plants do not bring a lot of jobs with them. So all they're going to do is use up our resources. So do we really want these data plants here?
No, we've been trying to stop it.
Exactly.
So how are you
Exactly.
going to stop it?
So, well,
Well, anyway, right now, we have no control.
Right.
We're just putting them in and saying this is done and that's it.
yeah,
Even though those ones that are picketing, they're still not getting it.
yeah,
They're delaying it, but they're not getting it.
right.
So,
Well, you can go to the cities. I know Harlingen.
well, wait a minute, they did that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's 543 already in the state of Texas.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the valley does not need data centers.
I
We
know.
do not need them here. I mean, AI is a great thing, just not data centers in the valley.
Especially with our water problem.
Yes, and that's the main reason why.
And they said
That and our grid. because it will suck the energy from our grid.
Our electricity will triple,
Hmm.
and they said our water will also triple, because they won't have to pay for either of those.
And
Those are
that-
freebies to them.
if a data center were to come to the valley, let's say it's happening and I can't stop it, nobody can stop it, then they should be required to pay the extra water. They should be required to pay the extra electricity, not the constituents.
Will your door be open for the public to come and talk with you?
Always, always. And I've given my personal cell phone number out to people, and I said, yeah, I'm just a phone call away. I'm just a text away.
That's
So.
what we need.
And it's true. I call her sometimes.
Anyone else have any other questions, an important one? Well, thank you for coming today, and we thank you for being a teacher. in
Thank